think the audio needs to be adjusted, I think.
Can I begin, Nathan?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hare Krishna Mata. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Udirayet Shrinuvatam Svakataha Krishnaha Punyashravana Kirtanaha Hridayantasto hi apadrani vidunoti shruti satam नष्टप्रायेषु अपत्रेषु नित्य भागवत सेवेयां भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भगवत उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकीः. Hare Krishna to everyone. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 12, Verse 8. Maitreya Uvacha स राजराजेन वाराय चोदितो ध्रुवो भागवतो महामतिः हरौ स ववरे चलितं स्मृतिं यायाय तारात्ययातेन दुरत्यायां तमः. Translation. The great sage Maitreya continued, My dear Vidura, when thus asked to accept a benediction from Kuvera, the Yaksharaj, king of the Yakshas, Dhruva Maharaj, that most elevated pure devotee, who was an intelligent and thoughtful king, begged that he might have unflinching faith in and remembrance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for thus a person can cross over the ocean of nescience very easily, although it is very difficult for others to cross. Purport by Srila Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada. According to the opinion of expert followers of Vedic rites, there are different types of benedictions in terms of religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. These four principles are known as Chaturvargas. Of all the Chaturvargas, the benediction of liberation is considered to be the highest in this material world. To be enabled to cross over material nescience is known as the highest Purushartha, or benediction for the human being. But Dhruva Maharaj wanted benediction which surpasses even the highest Purushartha, liberation. He wanted the benediction that he might constantly remember the lotus feet of the Lord. This stage of life is called Panchama Purushartha. When a devotee comes to the platform of Panchama Purushartha, simply engaging in devotional service to the Lord, the fourth Purushartha, liberation, becomes very insignificant in his eyes. Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati has stated in this connection that for a devotee, liberation is a hellish condition of life. As for sense gratification, which is available in the heavenly planets, the devotee considers it to be a pill or the wisp, having no value in life. Yogis endeavor to control the senses, but for a devotee, controlling the senses is no difficulty at all. The senses are compared to serpents, but for a devotee, the serpent's poison teeth are broken. Thus, Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati has analyzed all kinds of benedictions available in this world, and he has clearly declared that for a pure devotee, they are all of no significance. Dhruva Maharaj was also a Mahabhagavata, or a first-class pure devotee, and his intelligence was very great, Mahamatiha. Unless one is very intelligent, one cannot take to devotional service or Krishna consciousness. Naturally, anyone who is a first-class devotee must be a first-class intelligent person, and therefore not interested in any kind of benediction within this material world. Dhruva Maharaj was offered a benediction by the king of the kings, Kuvera, the treasurer of the demigods, whose only business is to supply immense riches to persons within this materialistic world, is described as the king of kings because unless one is blessed by Kuvera, one cannot become a king. The king of kings personally offered Dhruva Maharaj any amount of riches, but he declined to accept them. He is described therefore as Mahamatiha, very thoughtful or highly intelligent. Text 9. Tasya pritena manasa tam tata dattavaida vidastataha pashyato natardhate sopi swapuram pratyaya padayata. Translation. The son of Idavida, Lord Kuvera, was very pleased, and happily he gave Dhruva Maharaj the benediction he wanted. Thereafter he disappeared from Dhruva's presence, and Dhruva Maharaj returned to his capital city. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Kuvera, who is known as the son of Idavida, was very pleased with Dhruva Maharaj because he did not ask him for anything materially enjoyable. Kuvera is one of the demigods, so one may put forward the argument, why did Dhruva Maharaj take a benediction from a demigod? The answer is that for a Vaishnava there is no objection to taking a benediction from a demigod if it is favorable for advancing Krishna consciousness. The gopis, for example, worshipped Katyayani, a demi-goddesses, but the only benediction they wanted from the goddesses was to have Krishna as their husband. A Vaishnava is not interested in asking any benediction from the demigods, nor he is interested in asking benediction from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is said in the Bhagavatam that liberation can be offered by the Supreme Person, but even if a pure devotee is offered liberation by the Supreme Lord, he refuses to accept it. Dhruva Maharaj did not ask Kuvera for transference to the spiritual world, which is called liberation. He simply asked that whatever he would remain, whether in the spiritual or material world, he would always remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A Vaishnava is always respectful to everyone, so when Kuvera offered him a benediction, he did not refuse it, but he wanted something which would be favorable to his advancement in Krishna consciousness. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Kauravani Pracharine Nirveshesha Shunyavadi Pashyate Veshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. I like to seek blessings from all the assembled Vaishnavas and thank you for giving me an opportunity to purify myself. Please forgive me for any shortcomings. Before I start some insight on these verses, today my summary is very short due to some health reasons. I was not able to do a lot of things, but I'll just try my best to put certain things. So basically, from these two verses, we can understand the one title can be given is one should know what is the right seeking of the right benediction. On Manu's advice, Dhruva Maharaj stopped fighting and Kuvera appeared before him. Instead of cursing him out of anger, Kuvera, seeing that Dhruva was a very great pure devotee of the Lord, so he offered pleasing words to him and in fact offered him to seek any benediction he might want. Now, from this, there is a lesson we can all learn, that is how to seek the right benediction. Dhruva Maharaj has already regretted in the past when Lord appeared to him by asking the Lord to grant him the possession of land greater than his father and grandfather. Now, when again the same situation is faced by Dhruva Maharaj, although it is not Supreme Lord, this time it is a demigod Kuvera, who is the richest of all. So Dhruva Maharaj was very careful, mindful, and intelligent to make sure he utilizes this opportunity to seek the right benediction. Time he wanted to have a benediction higher than the liberation, that is, asking for unflinching faith and to constantly remember the lotus feet of the Lord. This is the highest stage of Purushartha, And this is called as Panchama Purushartha, as mentioned by Srila Prabhupada. So when a devotee comes to this platform of Pancha Purushartha, he simply wants to engage in devotional service to the Lord. He doesn't even care wherever he is situated. Maybe he may be situated in material world also or spiritual world. So when a person is onto this stage, the fourth Purushartha, that is the liberation, becomes very insignificant in his eyes. Our small minds does not make us think broadly. For example, when a father asks his child to ask him anything so that he will grant him, the child goes for asking either a candy or a toy, as his mind is limited to only such petty things, which makes him happy, which lasts for a very short period of time. However, the child could have asked for something big unless he is aware of such big things being existed. Similarly, for a materialistic person, when given an opportunity, he will ask for only material benediction, that is, possession of land or beautiful wife, children, and power, as he is ignorant of the existence of something higher than these. But for pure devotees, who is aware of Supreme Lord, who is Sarvaloka Maheshwaraha, Ishwaraha, the controller of everything, Achyutaha, who never falls, only tries to seek to be always associated with the lotus feet of the Lord and always be engaged in service of the Lord, for not even forgetting for a moment by telling all of his day-to-day activities with the Supreme Lord. Thus, we can learn from other wide-hearted pure devotees like Dhruva how to seek real benediction. Similarly, there are several examples stated in the scriptures, and one I like to quote here is when Prahlad Maharaj was asked by Lord Narasimha to ask for a boon. Prahlad Maharaj was confused as well as sad because after Lord has asked him, because he thought that there may be still a tinge of material desire existed in him without his knowledge. And the Supreme Lord, who is knower of everything, knew about this, and that is why the Lord has asked him to ask for a boon. But Prahlad Maharaj, being very careful and intelligent, he utilizes this opportunity to be granted him a boon. And what is that boon? The boon he asked for is that he should never ask the Lord for any boons other than rendering service to the Lord. So we should sincerely pray that we don't fall into the pit of material enjoyment, but use the intelligence given up by the Lord to seek the eternal benediction of serving Him and His devotees always. A Vaishnava is always respectful to everyone. So here, when Kuvera of the demigod offered the benediction to Dhruva Maharaj, and Dhruva Maharaj being a very pure Vaishnava, he did not refuse it just because he wanted to respect demigod Kuvera. But as stated here, it is very clearly mentioned that there is nothing harm in accepting any benediction from demigod so far it is helpful and favorable to Krishna consciousness. The other day, when one of my brother yesterday, when he was speaking about demigod and rendering services to the demigod, family people forces us, or whatever may be the reason, there is nothing harm in praying, but we can pray to the demigods requesting to progress our spiritual path and reach the ultimate goal of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, and favoring us and giving us the strength and determination to pursue in that. So it's here clearly mentioned that if it is favorable for the Krishna's consciousness progress, one can pray to the demigod. Having said that, I will end up my today's summary. Please forgive for any shortcomings. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Very nice summary, Mataji, and realization shared. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hari Bol.
Hari Hari.